Well, here's our campground. Stillwell Store and RV Park. It's a giant gravel parking lot, but they have water and electric for us. 25 bucks a night. And there's only like one other camper here. It's pretty cool. For comparison, this guy is huge.
We're on the banks of the Rio Grande. That's Mexico. I think there's hurricane force wind gusts today. As you can see from our model, she has a hard time keeping her hair in place. She already lost her hat. We're trying for a quiet time to shoot a video here. I'm not sure we're ever gonna get one though.
We are hiking the Lower Burro Mesa Trail into this little canyon here. And apparently Big Bend has a volcanic history, and the different colors that we see, the layers, are ash from many years ago. It's super pretty here. So pretty. This is another video reminder to watch where you're going, because this jerk face right here, this pointy thing, I was running and it went right through my freaking fingernail and it hurt so bad. Ugh.
Watch out, to fall. Cactuses on both sides of the trail. Be careful.
What do you think these belong to? This here is a 100-foot tall pour-off of this Burro Mesa, and on the other side of this there's actually another hike, but the hikes can't combine because of this giant wall right here. It's super cool here.
So we wanted to take this opportunity to recap what happened to us on our first day in Big Bend National Park. It was pretty wild, and there was some stuff that's happened that we've never really experienced before and different than what we've seen so far on this trip. The park started out kind of slow. It's huge. We came in one of the entrances and it's about 30 miles till you get to anything. So the first stop we made was at the hot spring. We got out and it was super windy. We weren't really sure if we were going to go in the spring or not. We had everything with us we could have. We got down there and it was full of people. So we decided to pass. But on the way there, we saw all kinds of stuff for sale from Mexico. We didn't really understand what was going on at first, but we just kind of continued on and we just saw the stuff for sale. Didn't think anything about it.
So we stopped to look at some of this stuff. I mean, it looked like it was just handmade, like wire beaded things. And I don't know, they were kind of pretty. And so we just stopped to look at it and maybe purchased one or two.
Can't confirm or deny. So I saw a guy across the river while we were looking at the stuff and thought maybe that was his stuff. I don't know. We've never been here before. We spent some time at Oregon Pipe on the border, but obviously nothing like this. So there happened to be another guy at the stuff that we might or might not have purchased. So he came over, the guy from the other side of the river. I happened to look over and his pants are rolled up to his calf, and he just waded across the river from Mexico and says, "Would you like to buy some tamales?" And then we were just blown away that this guy crossed the border illegally to sell us tamales. And it was just a wild, we've never obviously seen that before. We expected him to cross the border and like kidnap whatever, from all the stuff you hear on the news. This guy just wanted to sell us some food that he had made. It was pretty crazy.
So later on, we did a couple other things, and it seemed like every stop that we made, we would see just a bunch of this trinket souvenir stuff just randomly sitting out, and there might be like a can or a jug or something, and people would just leave their money. But there was one hike that we did where we actually saw there were two different guys. They had horses and they were actually selling stuff, and each time we walked by both of them, they'd ask us if we would want to buy stuff or if we wanted any tamales. And we thought this was super interesting and like, what is going on here? Because we are in a national park, like this is not souvenir land, and it's weird to be hiking on a trail and having stuff for sale. So we found a ranger and we asked him about it.
So when we talked to the ranger, he said that it's illegal. So these people are coming from Mexico illegally to put this stuff out, and another ranger called them rock shops. And basically what it is on top of a rock, there's a bunch of stuff for sale with a coffee can for money. And the one ranger we spoke to, the first one, said this has been going on since the park opened, 100 years. And it probably wasn't illegal then. And they're trying to discourage it, but they just have bigger fish to fry, is basically what it comes down to. They're not worried about them coming over illegally and selling you a $5 necklace or a $20 walking stick. So they have bigger things to worry about at the border. But it was pretty wild that we saw this guy on a horse with his tamales and all of his souvenirs within eyesight of a U.S. park ranger. Basically, I mean, the ranger might not have actually been able to physically see him, but like 2 feet out of eyesight is this guy selling stuff illegally. And it just happens and everybody just kind of knows about it, and it doesn't really seem to bother anyone, and it just happens.
So then we continued on our day, and they actually have in the park where you can legally cross the border. It's an actual port, and so we saw that they had a parking lot, and so we're like, let's just go and see what there is to see here and maybe get some information.
So we pulled in, stopped, and there's a ranger there and someone from Customs and Immigration. Not Border Patrol, but actual customs like you would clear at a normal border when you're crossing. So we just basically said, we've never been here before, what happens here? And he said, well, so the park ranger was the one that spoke to us. The customs man didn't say much of anything. So the park ranger said, well, there's an actual crossing here. You're legally able to cross. And so you can go there, and the Mexicans are waiting for you, and they will take you in the bed of a pickup truck to town for, I believe it was $10. And so I said, oh, okay, so there's a bridge here that you can go across? And the guy laughed and he said, no, there's no bridge. You have to wade across the river to get to Mexico. And I was just blown away. The fact that I can legally wade across the same river that supposedly all these Mexicans cross illegally. And because I'm a U.S. passport holder, I can go across and back through the river. It was just pretty wild. They also have a boat, the Mexicans do, and I believe that was $5 to get across the river, so you don't have to wade through it. And I believe there are also donkeys or mules or horses, some kind of animal that you can take for $5. So we asked how deep the river was, because I wanted to know, if it's chest deep, I'm probably not going to want to wade through it. But they laughed and they said it was only ankle deep. So we also found out the same stuff that's for sale at these rock shops illegally, you can actually go to Mexico and buy in the town legally, and then bring them back through customs, and declare them like you're supposed to. So they said that it's more prevalent right now because of COVID. The port had been closed for almost 2 years, so that's why there's more of this stuff. And historically, people would just go to Mexico and buy it there, so they didn't need to have it here. It was all pretty wild. We were just blown away. We told them again, we have a border in Michigan with Canada, but none of this stuff happens. It was wild.
So what a lot of people do, I guess, is they'll just go and make like a little day out of it. It's like a mile walk if you didn't want to ride in the bed of a pickup truck into town. And then they have little cantinas and souvenir shops that you can just enjoy. We are now on a 3.8 mile hike to Mule Ears Spring, and so far the desert landscape and mountains are quite interesting. They must get more rain here than maybe the Sonoran Desert, because I'm getting like pretty interesting vibes with all the green mountains, like it's in Iceland or maybe even Hawaii. I haven't been to Hawaii yet, but I feel like this might be what it looks like. We made it to the spring. The water is right down there. It's a bit overgrown. Are you sure you want to go that way?
Why?
No reason. There's the river. There's the river. I'm standing on U.S. soil, and right across from me is Mexico. And actually to the right where that boat launch is, that's the United States. Isn't this interesting? Look, right now we are in the United States, according to Google, but here, look, right now we're in Mexico. Kyle's gonna go stand in the United States. According to Google, Nicole's in Mexico and Kyle's in the United States. Hi, Kyle. All right, friends, we have a classic whodunit situation. Look at all these footprints. Whodunit? What were they doing? That's Mexico. Where did they come from? We don't know this. They done it. We made it to the end of the Santa Elena Canyon Trail hike, and it's so pretty here. The river here, still the Rio Grande, is just a beautiful green color. These walls are like 1,500 feet high. It gets super narrow up there, but it's so pretty. There's people that actually just cross the river from the US into Mexico, technically, and it only looked like it was maybe calf or knee deep at the most, and it's super echoey but really pretty here. Okay, here's an update on my nail fail. So it's been 9 hours and my finger still really hurts. It hurt really bad. I had to take ibuprofen because it was throbbing and like very sensitive, and it was very hot, and I feel like I probably still have a piece of that damn plant in my nail. I still don't really understand how this happened. So I'm gonna do a little surgery, maybe, and see, because I see a very dark spot and I think that's the end of the pointy bush thing that I hit. So that's my update. Okay, well, I have some good news. It's been about 20 minutes and I'm just gonna warn you that if you don't like maybe gross things, you might want to fast forward like 30 seconds or something. Okay, so I did some surgery. As you can see, my hand is a bloody mess right now and I need to go clean this out, and it hurts very bad. But look at this. This was in my freaking finger. Somehow, I still don't understand. I said this last time. I still don't understand how it actually jabbed itself through my nail bed, through my nail into my nail bed. But this little pricker, this is a prick, whatever it is, that was in me. Oh my god. Like, no wonder it hurt so bad. And it's so sharp and pokey. Oh my gosh. That little jerk. Anyways, so I need to wash my finger out really good, because I'm sure that is not very clean. But yeah, I'm glad that I got it out. I knew it was in there. It hurt so bad. So, got a messed up nail, but that's alright. Good morning, everybody. We are at the Chisos Basin, looking at the Chisos Mountains, and this is the Window View Trail. It's so pretty here, very chilly. These mountains were formed through volcanic eruptions between 17 and 38 million years ago. We are now hiking the Chisos Basin Loop Trail. It's like a 2.2 mile trail. I can't remember the elevation gain, but our hearts are pumping. Chisos Basin is probably the most popular part of the park here. It's like right in the middle of all these mountains, super pretty. We tried to come yesterday, but the parking was full and we had to wait. This here, folks, is the largest grasshopper in the world. Holy cow. Kyle, put your hand down there. Let's see how close we can get. For comparison, So we are doing something a bit unconventional right now. We are hiking in the Rio Grande, the actual river. Technically right now I am on the bank of the river, and on the US side there is a wall. So, oh, that's funny. That's a good joke. Okay, anyways, so technically I might be in Mexico right now. This is super crazy. We're the only ones out here. It's super fun though. If we hadn't have done Narrows at Zion and maybe Warsaw Falls, you know, in New York, we probably wouldn't be doing this. I mean, who gets to the end of the trail and it's like, let's just walk up the creek, you know, let's just walk up the river. But it's so cool. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. We went through a bit of a muddy section. The water is so calm. It has an awesome reflection of these cliffs. Okay, we made it around the bend, and the bends of rivers are just the best. Look at how green on the side this is. It's so green. And then look up here. There's like this really cool arch cave thing up in the cliff. Oh my gosh. This is just so awesome. And how many people actually do this? Like, have you done it? This is so cool. Guys, I think we have found Eden. This place is just so beautiful. Wow. Okay guys, so we take a pause and we're gonna do a little Q&A about our adventure here. So Kyle, how's the river temperature?
I think it was colder in Zion, and Warsaw Falls was definitely colder. We're in t-shirt and shorts, but we've turned around and the wind's blowing, so it's cold now. But it is almost December. It's not unbearable. Pretty refreshing though.
Look, we found these little paw prints. We were wondering what they might be. You're thinking maybe somebody had brought a dog? Because we also found some human prints. Pretty neat. When you left, what did the temperature in the truck say the air was?
Like 57, I think.
Sure, I don't remember.
I think it was 57.
How far have you been walking upriver?
I think it's been about an hour, so I'm guessing a couple miles. We were going upstream. The current's very slow, but I would guess a couple miles.
Kyle's going over to Mexico. What type of riverbed is it?
Well, there's some rock. We're standing on rock right now, but there's a lot of muck. You sink in some spots, I'd say 6 inches. It's kind of gross in some spots.
This is what Kyle meant when he said it was a bit mucky and muddy. Would you recommend this to others?
Oh, absolutely. There's no people. It's been pretty amazing. This is a pretty busy park, and we're literally the only ones in this canyon. I'm pretty sure right now we're standing in Mexico, which is pretty pretty awesome. It's just unbelievable. This river is beautiful green water. It's nice and shallow. It's great for this type of adventure.
Did you love your hike here?
Oh, absolutely. I would definitely come again. It's pretty cool.
Okay, bonus question. Did anybody offer to sell you tamales?
No tamale salesman here. I'm pretty disappointed. I'm hungry and I could really use a tamale right now. Belly's getting smaller.
All right. What do you think this is? Do you think this is a fossil? Wow. Okay, here's an update on my finger. It's been like maybe 18 hours since I pulled it out of me. It looks okay. It only hurts like when I use it, which it's on my right hand, so it's pretty much all the time, but I think we're okay. Here's my other injury from yesterday. So I wore these little socks and my hiking boots rubbed against my skin and kind of wore it off. I have a matching spot on the back side, but this is the worst. It's very sticky and it's very painful, and I guess next time I need to wear big socks. This is pretty gross, but I finally get to see a javelina. Look at that. Wow, it's so big. It's like a big old potbelly pig. Gross.
So a little side story from our adventure yesterday. We were getting ready to go back into the Big Bend National Park area. We're gonna do a scenic drive, a couple hundred miles total. Got all ready, came out, and the tire was completely flat all the way down to the rim. And I said, well, we're not going anywhere right now. So I did some investigating, tried to figure out what happened. Found this nail in the tire. So wasn't really sure what to do after I pulled the nail out. It's Sunday in West Texas. The closest town is 50 miles, and it's also the weekend of Thanksgiving. So I asked at the campground if there was any store anywhere, and he just kind of laughed. He said, maybe Monday, something should be open 100 miles away. I said, oh great. He said, well, I have a patch or a plug if you want to try. I said, well, sure, I'll give it a try. So there is a plug right down here. Seems to be holding. So the first time I've ever plugged a tire. Seems to be successful so far. We continued on our way. I checked the air, a few hundred miles on it. It's good to go. So take that, Voodoo Doll. We're winning.
Alright everybody, here's an update from my hiking boot issue. This hurts really bad. Man, it's pretty big. The one on the other side isn't as big, but it sure does hurt. I always scratch it on stuff. It's really red, but here is where it really hurts. Not really sure how long it'll be like that. Not really sure how I'm gonna wear my hiking boots for a little while. So maybe I got some rest days coming up. Who knows? Anyways, that's my update.
We've been alternating states. Nicole's been keeping track of when we'd get to Texas to make sure I have to put it on. Because it's this large. There's a lot of spots that need lined up. And then she'll criticize me for all eternity when it's messed up.
Come on. Did he do it?